styling the caption. So I did a little bit of cleanup between videos where I went ahead and I got rid of the margin that we commented out. I set the max width to 22%, and I've gone ahead and made the justify content a space between so that it more closely matches what you're going to see in the final. So you don't have to make it match exactly the way that it looks in the final. Like I said, you can make some tweaks and changes, but just so that what you're seeing in the demo more closely matches. Those were the things that I ended up with, 22% and space between. But now we're going to start to style the captions. Now we're going to be styling the first part using description. So if you want to just swap over to your HTML, notice how the actual name, so like the analog travel alarm clock, the black porcelain bowl by Asami Porcelain, Helvetica, large Mueller publishers, those are all description classes, and then we have a price class. So the first thing we're going to style is that description. So we're going to set the text to be 0.75 em. So let's go ahead and add in for the class description. Font size 75 em. Great. Okay. Now, we then want to set the position for where the price appears. So first off, we want the price. And we're going to want to set that to be absolute. So what that means is that we're going to set the exact position where the price is going to be. And we're going to say that we want the top and the right to be 0. So go ahead and copy and paste this in, and then we're going to take a look and see what that does. And by the way, we can go ahead and add the thumbnail grid ahead of the description as well. That way we know that we're targeting the exact things that we want to. So now that I've done that and I've saved, yes, I have saved, let's go ahead and refresh this to see what this does. Well, look, it's gone ahead and disappeared. All right. So it's made the prices go to the top right of the browser window. So far, right here. All right. So we position them absolutely relative to the browser window. That's going to be the default when using absolute positioning. But we want to have it be relative to the container rather than the browser window. So what is the containing element for the prices? Let's go back to our HTML. So we have our prices. They're inside of the paragraph because it's a span class. Spans are inline elements. So this span is inside of a paragraph that has the class description. So that's the description class. So add any background color just so that we can see what's happening. So go ahead to that description. Let's just add color red, or background color rather, sorry. All right, save that. Now reload our page and then you're gonna see what's happening. All right, so we want it in here and we want it relative to that. So what we want is to make the prices go to the top right corner of that background. So how we're gonna do that? First, we need to basically tell it this is the context in which you're positioning yourself. So rather than being positioned relative to the browser as a whole, we want it to be relative to that description. So we know that the container is the description class. So now we want to tell that class to use that it's what things are relative to. So I'm going to add the position relative to the class up. So we're saying that the price is, we're giving it an absolute position. But that absolute position should be relative to our description. So you're saying that this is an absolute. What is it relative to? It's relative to this. By default, it is relative to the body. So now, by saying that we're relative to the description, when I refresh this, I should have the prices jump back in here. Now, that's great for some of them. A little bit more problematic for our porcelain here because it's a little bit bigger. But we're at least put in the right spot. Now, our prices and our descriptions overlap. So what we're going to want to do is add some padding to make sure that we don't have this happening. Now, by the way, if you want, you can go ahead and get rid of that red color if you want. I don't think we're going to need it anymore. Now we know that's what it's relative to. Okay, no more crazy red. But we still have this issue. Okay, so we want to add some padding to the right of the description class. And we're still seeing that this is an issue. Okay, so first off, let's go ahead and add that padding. We want 25% padding on the right only. So description, padding, right, 25%. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's 2 lines now. Awesome. Now, if I make my browser smaller, we're going to see that we still have issues. So let me just go ahead and do that for you. So do you see right there? And then it's okay. But there's that. And it's because of the word from that we're running into this issue. Because this is always there. And we've basically set it so it should be fine for all the text, but this one's bigger. So we're running into an issue, but it's only where the Hisami runs into it. Okay, so we want to make sure that that price, because that is a span inside, we want to make sure that it's never larger than 25%. Because we're saying that there's this padding. So we're saying that there's padding on the right-hand side of this guy, the analog travel alarm clock, that's 25%. Well, that's fine for everything except this guy because that's larger than 25%. So let's make sure that the price is never bigger than that. So that's why we're going to set the width of price to 25%. So let's go in here, back to price, width, 25%. Okay, awesome, hopefully. Now, huzzah! Now we should not ever overlap. Yay! Hooray. If you want, go ahead and right align the price so that it looks a little bit better when it's on 2 lines, so it's the from isn't like that. So you can go ahead and go align right. Did I put that on right? All right. And make sure that you've gone ahead and gotten rid of that background color if you haven't already. Now, the next thing we're going to do, it's actually the last thing we're going to do, is to add our overlay for the hover. I'm going to do that as a separate video.